All right, so we've got this book in front of us, and the title itself is pretty eye-catching, I'd say. Lights, Camera, Profits, AI and short-form video to explode your brand, 5 areas to focus in 2025, by a guy named Tom Brooks, right?
That's right, Tom Brooks.
And, what's interesting to me is it's not just about what's in the book. It's like, who is this Tom Brooks guy, right? So that's kind of what we're going to be digging into today, this deep dive.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, think of it less as like a straight book review and more of kind of like exploring the core message of this book, Lights, Camera, Profits. And, we'll get into the 5 key areas that he's saying are going to be so important for businesses to focus on moving forward into 2025. And as you said, we'll see what we can kind of glean about Tom Brooks himself just from, the book, from what he says.
So the main thing we've got to go on here is the full PDF of the book, which you've so kindly provided.
Yes.
And the mission really is twofold. First, to give you a clear sense of what the book's main themes are and what, their potential impact could be. And second, who is this guy, Tom Brooks? Can we get a sense of him as an author based on his writing and what he chooses to, focus on?
Yeah.
Okay. So first impressions, right? The title, Lights, Camera, Profits. I mean, what's your gut reaction to that?
To me, it just screams action. Like we're doing something.
Yeah.
You see lights, camera, you immediately think of like media, modern media.
Right.
And then, of course, profits. That's the ultimate goal, business success.
Yeah.
So it's very, very direct.
Yeah. I mean, it's like there's no messing around. He's telling you exactly what this book is about, which is, to make more money, essentially.
Yeah.
All right, so then we've got the subtitle, AI and short-form video to explode your brand, 5 areas to focus in 2025.
So right away, he's zeroing in on what he sees as like the 2 big things, right? Artificial intelligence and short-form video.
Yeah, and the promise is, pretty huge. Explode your brand, not just like grow it a little bit, but like really take it to the next level. And then that 2025 thing, like he's putting a date on it, which also adds a sense of urgency, I think.
It does. It makes it very timely, right? It's not just like AI and short-form video are important. It's these things are going to be crucial in this specific time frame. So if you're a business owner and you're thinking about your strategy, he's giving you a window.
It's like this isn't just some vague future. This is happening now, and you need to be ready for it.
Yeah, exactly.
Okay, so let's jump into the introduction. Right off the bat, Brooks is very clear about who this book is for. He says it's for people who want actionable, no-fluff insights to not just survive, but to dominate 2025. That's a pretty strong language.
Yeah, it is. He's not mincing words, is he?
No.
But it's refreshing in a way. He's not wasting your time with vague promises. He's telling you straight up, this is what you're going to get. No filler.
Yeah, and it makes me think he really understands his audience, right? Like, they're busy people. They don't have time to wade through a bunch of theory. They want practical advice that they can implement right away.
Absolutely. I think he's very aware that people are looking for, the bottom line.
Right. So he lays out the core problem, which is the business landscape has completely changed. Traditional marketing just doesn't cut it anymore. And that's something we've talked about a lot, right?
Oh, yeah, for sure. The old playbook just isn't relevant in a lot of ways.
You got to be more targeted, more engaging, more creative. And then he introduces his solution, which is these 5 key areas. Harness AI, prioritize hyper-personalization, video, short form. I mean, he really hammers that one home.
He does.
Optimize for voice and local search, and make sustainability a selling point. And these, they're not just random ideas he pulled out of a hat, right?
Oh, no, not at all.
These are all major trends that we're seeing across industries.
Yeah, and what's interesting is he's not just saying, like, oh, AI is cool or short-form video is a thing.
Right.
He's saying, these are the things you need to master if you want to succeed in 2025. It's very strategic, very forward-looking.
And he promises within each chapter, he's going to give you real-world examples, tactical tips, even specific tech tools. And then just to really drive the point home, he tells you what the book is not. No vague corporate speak snooze fest, no filler, no fluff, and definitely no wasting your time with theory that doesn't translate into action. So it's like he's really setting expectations high.
He is. And I think that speaks to, what we talked about earlier, that sense of knowing knowing his audience, respecting their time.
Yeah, and I think it also says something about him as a person, like he values efficiency, he's not afraid to be direct. Maybe he comes from a business background himself where results are everything.
Could be.
And then he ends the introduction with this really powerful call to action. It's like, stop playing small businesses, get ready to grow, and these 5 areas are your roadmap. So that's the setup, right?
Yeah.
Now, let's dive into the chapters themselves, starting with chapter 1, Harnessing AI. So the main argument here is that AI is not some futuristic technology, it's here now, and it's essential for businesses to stay ahead of the game.
And he's really emphasizing that urgency, right?
Yeah, he's not saying AI will be important, he's saying AI is important now, like right now.
Right. You snooze, you lose,
Yeah.
kind of thing.
And then he goes into how AI can really help businesses, like boosting efficiency, improving customer experiences, and making marketing so much more precise and targeted.
Yeah.
He even gives examples that everybody can relate to, like Netflix and Spotify, those personalized recommendations they give you.
Right.
That's AI in action. It's those algorithms, analyzing what you've watched or listened to in the past to predict what you might want next.
I mean, everyone's familiar with that, right?
Yeah.
It's a great way to make the concept of AI feel less intimidating and more relatable.
And then he actually gives you practical steps for, like, implementing AI in your business, starting with understand your needs. What are you trying to achieve?
Mm-hmm.
Then select the right tools for the job. And he even says, start small, do a pilot project, don't try to do everything at once, invest in training your team because you need people who understand how to use these tools. And then, crucial point, monitor your results.
Yeah, that continuous improvement mindset.
Yeah. See what's working, what's not, and adjust accordingly.
Right.
And he even addresses some of the common concerns that people have about AI, like, it's too expensive. And he's like, well, there are cloud-based solutions. You can start with those pilot projects. You don't have to break the bank.
Makes it much more accessible.
Yeah. And then, people are resistant to change. He's like, well, you got to communicate openly with your team, train them properly, make sure they understand the benefits. And of course, the big one, data privacy. What about our customers' data? And he's like, you need strong governance, you need transparency, you need to be ethical about how you use data.
It shows he's really thinking about the practical, real-world implications.
Yeah, he's not just some tech evangelist. He's like, look, I get it. These are real concerns, and here's how you can address them. All right, chapter 2, the power of video. And here, he's laser focused on short form video.
Yeah, 15 to 60-second clips.
Yeah.
He's saying that's the key in 2025.
And he's not wrong, right? I mean, people's attention spans are like, what, a nanosecond these days?
It's true. Can barely finish a thought without getting distracted.
Exactly. So he's like, you got to capture their attention fast. Those first few seconds are crucial. And he talks about platforms like YouTube Shorts, Instagram Reels, and of course, TikTok.
Yeah, those are where it's at right now.
Yeah. And he gives a really good example of a company that's doing this well, Chipotle.
Oh, yeah. Chipotle is killing it on TikTok.
They're using humor, they're jumping on trends, they're connecting with that younger audience.
Yeah, they're not afraid to be a little bit silly.
Exactly. And he emphasizes, you gotta be authentic, be concise, jump on those trends, have high quality visuals and sound, and be consistent. Post regularly, keep that content flowing.
Yeah, consistency is key. You got to stay top of mind.
And then he talks about how to measure your success, right? It's not just about views, it's about shares, comments, engagement rates, click-through rates, all those things that show people are actually interested in your content.
It's not just about vanity metrics anymore.
Yeah, exactly. And he stresses the importance of storytelling and interactivity. It's not just about throwing out random clips. You got to have a narrative, you got to engage with your audience.
Yeah, make them feel like they're part of the conversation.
All right, chapter 3. Optimizing for voice and local search. Here, he's talking about how voice search is becoming huge.
Yeah, people are using their voices more and more to find information.
And he says this is a shift towards more conversational search queries, like people are talking to their devices like they're talking to a person.
It's like, hey, Siri, find me the best pizza place near me.
Exactly.
Instead of typing it in.
And he says businesses need to adapt to that. They need to use conversational marketing. They need to incorporate FAQs into their content, answer those questions that people are actually asking.
Yeah, it's about anticipating their needs and being there with the answer.
And he gives examples like Domino's. They've integrated voice ordering. You can just talk to your device and order a pizza. And Starbucks, they're optimizing for local voice search. So when someone says, hey, Siri, find me a Starbucks near me, they pop up.
Smart move.
And then he talks about local search optimization in general. Like, if you're a business with a physical location, you need to show up in those searches.
Absolutely.
And he talks about key tactics, like optimizing your Google business profile, making sure your name, address, and phone number are consistent everywhere online,
AP.
using local keywords in your content, and encouraging those customer reviews because they really matter.
Social proof is so powerful.
And then he also points out some common mistakes that businesses make, like having outdated online profiles, ignoring negative reviews,
Oof. Yeah.
which can really hurt you, and neglecting mobile optimization. I mean, come on, it's like 2025, everyone's on their phone.
Right.
All right, chapter 4, personalizing your marketing. This is where he gets into hyper-personalization, which is really taking personalization to the next level.
Yeah, it's like not just segmenting your audience, but really tailoring messages to individuals based on their specific needs and preferences.
And he says AI is a big driver of this. It allows businesses to collect and analyze vast amounts of data about their customers and then use that data to deliver those super personalized experiences.
It's like knowing your customers so well that you can anticipate what they want before they even ask for it.
And he gives examples like those AI-powered virtual assistants in banking.
Oh, yeah, like getting financial advice tailored to your specific situation.
And of course, Netflix and Spotify, again, and Amazon with their personally shopping recommendations. It's like everywhere you go online, you're seeing personalization in action.
It's becoming the expectation, right? People are used to it.
But he does add a word of caution. He says, look, you got to balance this AI efficiency with authenticity and human interaction. You don't want to become so automated that you lose that human touch.
Right.
And you have to be transparent about how you're using data.
Absolutely. Transparency builds trust.
And he warns against some common pitfalls like over-automating, neglecting data governance, and forgetting about the importance of storytelling, even in personalized marketing.
Yeah, it's got to be more than just data points. There's got to be a human element to it.
All right, last chapter, chapter 5. Making sustainability a key selling point. This is interesting because he's saying that by 2025, sustainability is not just going to be a nice to have, it's going to be an expectation.
Yeah, consumers are going to demand it.
And he stresses the importance of communicating your sustainability efforts authentically and transparently. He talks about the power of storytelling, like share the story behind your efforts. What are you doing? Why are you doing it? And leverage those third-party certifications like Fair Trade, Organic, B Corp, those things that give you credibility.
Right, because it's easy for a company to say, oh, we're sustainable. But having that third-party validation gives you a lot more weight.
Exactly. And he suggests forming partnerships with environmental organizations. And he acknowledges that communicating sustainability can be tricky. There's the risk of greenwashing where you're just saying you're sustainable, but you're not really doing anything. And the issues themselves can be complex.
Yeah, it's not always easy to simplify those messages for a broad audience.
And you have to be consistent. Your messaging has to be the same across all your channels.
Absolutely. You can't say one thing on your website and then do something completely different in your supply chain.
And then he touches on some emerging trends, like blockchain for transparency in supply chains.
Oh, yeah, that's becoming a big thing.
AI-driven analytics for better sustainability reporting, really measuring your impact. And the ongoing importance of eco-friendly materials, energy efficiency, waste reduction, all that stuff.
Yeah. And he sees more interactive ways for consumers to engage with a brand's sustainability initiatives. So it's becoming much more dynamic, much more participatory.
It's not just a one-way street anymore. All right, so that gives us a pretty comprehensive overview of the content of Lights, Camera, Profits. But, the question remains, who is Tom Brooks?
Right. What can we glean about him as an author?
Based on his writing, what kind of personality, what kind of voice comes through?
Well, I think the first thing that strikes you is his directness.
Yeah.
There's no beating around the bush with this guy. He's very clear, very concise, very much to the point.
I agree. And there's an enthusiasm there, too.
Oh, absolutely. He's clearly passionate about these topics.
He's not just laying out the facts. He's like, this is exciting, this is the future, and I want to help you be a part of it.
Yeah. There's definitely a sense of urgency, but it's a positive urgency. It's like, let's embrace this change. Let's make it work for us.
And what about his knowledge base? What areas does he seem particularly well-versed in?
Well, obviously, AI and short-form video are front and center.
Right.
But he also seems to have a deep understanding of hyper-personalization and sustainability.
Mm-hmm.
He doesn't just mention them in passing. He really delves into them, provides practical advice.
Yeah. I mean, he's obviously done his research. He's up on the latest trends.
And his writing style is very accessible. Even when he's talking about complex topics, he manages to explain them in a way that anyone can understand. He's not trying to impress you with jargon. He's trying to inform you.
Yeah. And who do you think his target audience is for this book?
Well, I think he's aiming for a pretty broad audience.
Mm-hmm.
Businesses of all sizes, really.
Mm.
Anyone who's looking to grow their business in 2025 and beyond. He's talking to marketing professionals, entrepreneurs, business owners, anyone who's open to new ideas and willing to adapt.
Yeah.
He's not just preaching to the choir. He's trying to reach a wide audience.
Now, the book includes this Learn More section at the end, and it's a pretty extensive list of resources: books, websites, thought leaders, YouTube channels, podcasts, online courses, tools.
Yeah, it's a treasure trove of information.
It really speaks to, I think, his belief in continuous learning. He's not just saying, read my book and you're good to go. He's like, here are a bunch of other resources you can explore to deepen your knowledge.
And it's a diverse list, too. It's not just all tech stuff. There's stuff on marketing, on sustainability, on leadership.
Yeah, he's clearly someone who believes in a multifaceted approach to learning.
And that speaks to his credibility, too. He's not just promoting his own ideas. He's pointing you to other experts, other resources.
Yeah, I mean, he's including a book by Kai-Fu Lee, who's like a world-renowned AI expert.
Right. He's not afraid to share the spotlight.
And then there's a whole bunch of stuff on social media marketing, which aligns with his emphasis on short-form video. And he even highlights some leaders in the sustainability space.
It shows he's really done his homework.
Yeah, he's not just talking the talk, he's walking the walk. Now, one thing I found interesting is that we don't have a traditional author bio for Tom Brooks.
That is interesting.
There's nothing about his background, his experience, his credentials. It's all about the book, the content, the ideas. What do you make of that?
I think it's a deliberate choice. He's letting the work speak for itself.
Yeah.
It's not about him. It's about the message. It's about helping businesses succeed.
So to wrap up this deep dive, what are the key takeaways, in your opinion? What's the big message that Tom Brooks wants to leave you with?
I think the biggest takeaway is that the business world is changing rapidly, and you need to adapt or get left behind. AI, short-form video, hyper-personalization, voice and local search, sustainability. These are not just trends. They're fundamental shifts that are going to shape the future of business.
And he's not just saying, be aware of these things. He's giving you practical advice on how to implement them, how to leverage them to your advantage.
Yeah, he's providing a roadmap. He's saying, here's what you need to do to succeed in 2025.
Yeah. And what's your overall impression of Tom Brooks as an author based on this deep dive?
I get the sense that he's a very passionate, knowledgeable, and practical guide.
Yeah.
He's clearly excited about the future of business and wants to help others navigate it successfully.
He's like that enthusiastic mentor who's always pushing you to be your best.
Yeah, exactly.
All right, so final thought for you, our listener. Thinking about these 5 key areas that Brooks outlines, which one resonates most strongly with you right now? What's the biggest challenge or opportunity you're facing in your business? And what's one small step you can take today, inspired by this book, to start moving in the right direction?
Yeah, take action, even if it's just a small step. Don't let this information just sit there. Make it work for you.
The future is happening now, and the businesses that embrace change are the ones that will thrive. Thanks for joining us for this deep dive.
It's been a pleasure.